Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here at Real Estate Jerky Daily. Mike is still on sabbatical. I think he's going to be gone for another week till next Thursday. He actually, I think, starting next week, actually, is at a conference in Vegas. Went there early for March Madness. I'm not really into March Madness. I don't know. Are you guys into it? It's not one of my things. Football's my only thing. That's enough. Well, I do watch soccer, so I guess that is still football. But, happy Friday. It's been a great week. I'm busier. I'm sure a lot of people are busier. Veteran got into his home this week. Him and his lovely wife from North Carolina, who we got that thing done in like 9 days. VA in 9 days. No, don't take VA loans because you can't get them done. Not true. Anyway, let's get on to what's going on in the market, shall we? All right, today, excuse that little notification that keeps coming up. I tried to stop something and it keeps wanting to get in here. Anyway, stocks are a little bit higher. I'm sorry, stocks are a little bit lower this morning. Mortgage bonds are up about 11 basis points. The 10 years down 7 basis points. We're at 4.211. That's been coming down a little bit, and I think it had to do with the remarks from the Fed this week. Other stuff has come out that's saying that everything's not as good as it was. But let's get on. Switzerland is the first major central bank to cut rates, reducing their central bank rate to 25 basis points from, or I should say, reducing it to 25 basis points from 1.75, so 1.75 to 1.5. They're saying that this potentially could be a sign of global easing to come. Earlier this week, we talked about Bank of Japan and how they finally went from negative rates to 0 to 0.1% in rates. I still think that's negative, but what do we need to know? All right, so FHFA released a research paper where they found that there are 1.33 million homes are prevented from sales. They want to sell them, but because of the higher rates. What they're saying is going forward, when rates come down, there's a huge pent up demand. What we know this already, if you've been listening to us or if you're even in the industry, there's a huge pent up demand to sell and buy, but people don't want to get rid of their low interest rate. And I've always said it's like abusive relationship. You have to move on with your life and do everything you need to do and not worry about because of this. You have a low interest rate. You need to keep going. So if you have to go buy another house and rent out this house until rates change. Anyway, so again, there's a ton of pent-up demand. We know this. What is this? Inventory represents. There was we'll move on from that. CoreLogic rental report. CoreLogic came out with their rental report for the month of January, showing that rent prices are up 2.6% year over year. Again, because if you can't buy, what do? You go rent. And this is a decline of 2.8% from the previous report, which is the month earlier. What are they saying? Rents are overall they're coming down, but they're coming down lower. And if you know anything about the CPI and all that, we focus on the rents. We took out, I think in the 90s, the actual cost of homes because it was getting too costly. So they decided to change the reports when we talked about inflation and to work with rental because that's a cost of shelter. So they put the cost of shelter in there. The CPI report showed that shelter costs rose by 5.7%, which is 3.1% higher than what we actually were seeing because of the lag. Again, the CPI came out a couple weeks ago. This is just what they're looking at. All right, one thing I want to get into this is just a quick one today because there's not a lot of news. Or the news that there was, I already talked about. Squatters. Huge thing about squatters. I don't know if you've been noticing this on the news. They and please, I don't care what you call them, migrants, illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them, are coming across the border. And there's a guy that actually on TikTok was telling everybody that the laws in the United States allow for you to go into a vacant property and they can't kick you out for at least 30 days. So they're telling everybody to go to vacant homes and squat in them. I would tell you, if you're listing a property and it's vacant, I would do something differently than leave it vacant. Whether it is get somebody to, somebody to rent it during that period of time that they actually have the contract while it's on the market, do something differently. Do not leave it available for somebody to get into and rent and squat in it, because it's going to take you 30 days or more to get them out. And if there's somebody else out there who knows how to get rid of squatters, let me know. I'd like to have you on our show to talk about it. That's a huge thing. You're trying to sell a property, you bought a property, you're trying to move into it, and then now you have a squatter in there and you can't get them out of your property for a period of time. That's a horrible thing. That's what's happening right now in Texas and moving throughout the United States. And so I want to protect us here by knowing about it ahead of time. So do something differently, figure a way to make sure you protect yourself. First it was homeless. Now we have the migrants and, whatever you want to call them. I talked about yesterday, initial jobless claims came in a little bit weaker than what they expected. Continuing claims came in also a little bit less than they expected. So again, that's what's affecting our market today. That's why we're not getting lower rates. Is everything is looking great and unemployment's low. Everything's low. And I talked about this yesterday. The reason that unemployment's low is because they only count people actively looking for work. Homeless people aren't looking for work. 7.2 million migrants aren't looking for work, so they're not counting those. The people who had quit, 3.5 to 3, I think it was the last, it was 3.5 million, aren't actively looking for work. So that's why everything is showing low. If you actually count all those people, our actual unemployment rate would really be higher than it is today. It would not be the 3.7 or whatever the number is. It'd be more like 8 or 9%. And that would show where we really are. But nobody wants to know the true numbers. And like, Mark Twain said, there's lies, damn lies, and then statistics. What else? All right. So everybody probably knows this. Last thing I have, and we'll get out of here for the weekend. Oh, you know what I mean? I'm going to be working all day, but so Prop 1 barely passed in the state of California. And this was the Mental Health Act that the governor was behind. And it's supposedly slated to create 11,150 behavioral health treatment beds across the state, along with housing and 26,700 outpatient treatment slots. And roughly 1 billion of the thing is earmarked for veterans. Sounds really great, but problem I have is our current governor has, what did he spend? I have it right here. So far he has spent what Newsom administration had already spent 22 billion on various programs to address the crisis, including 3.5 billion to convert rundown hotels into homeless housing. It hasn't helped. I don't know how much this is going to help, and if this is more of a money grab, and if it really helps, great. I'm all for helping mental illness and people on the streets, that kind of stuff, but they also need to want to be helped. But we spent $22 million, and this homeless situation doesn't seem like it's going away, because it seems like it's a great money opportunity for a lot of people. But next week, we have some major numbers coming out. We have new home sales on Monday. We have durable goods orders, Case-Shiller, FHFA on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have mortgage applications. Thursday, fourth quarter GDP final read to see what that came in at, and also initial jobless claims and pending home sales. Friday is PCE. PCE is the favorite number for the Fed, and we'll see what that actually comes in at. That's going to tell us a lot. So next week could really move the actual rates a lot. So focus, if you have somebody in contract, just lock them. You can always move to a different investor or do a float down. There are some articles out there saying that we've actually peaked on our existing home sales for the year, that we're not going to see that much more of them, that we peaked already in March. I hope that's not the case, because as with you, I need existing home sales to keep going so that we can do more, get more people into homes and help more people. All right. That's all I have for today. I know you're all thinking, well, wish Mike was back here. They have so much more fun. Yeah. It's kind of hard to have a fun by yourself. One more thing I want to talk about before I go is our Operation Firewalk, which is for veterans here in Modesto, and not just from in Modesto, but we're doing it Modesto 12th and 13th, April 12th and 13th in Modesto. It's a firewalk for veterans and first responders. Please get the word out. If you need one of these flyers and you put them up in your office, I appreciate that. Just reach out to me. We'll get you a bunch of them. Please talk to different veterans. If you know a veterans group, get them to know about this. We're trying to help veterans. 22 of us commit suicide a day, and one active duty member commits suicide a day. We need to help that and stop that, because we've lost more veterans since 9/11 because of suicide than we've lost in the last three wars that we've done. That's how big this is, and that's why it's important for me. I started this through my Rotary, Modesto Sunrise Rotary, and I want to get help. So if you're out there and you can forward this to other people, please let me know. Just reach out to me. You can instant message me here, DM me, whatever you want to call it, and we'll, just help people here locally. Again, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. We'll have more fun next week when Mike gets back. Otherwise, make it a great day and have a great weekend. If you need anything, I'm here. All right. Bye.